Inside their command vessel, Admiral Zuex Theta clutched his head tendrils in agony. "Make it stop!" he screamed. "By the seven suns! Make it stop!" But they couldn't. The quantum entanglement that linked their glorious fleet consciousness now carried Rebecca's auditory abomination directly into every Zarathi mind simultaneously. The more they tried to block it, the more the quantum states collapsed and reformed, creating new variations of the horrible sound. "Sir," his lieutenant gasped, "the humans are transmitting recipes for something called pineapple pizza, encoded in the quantum static. Monsters!" ZYX Theta wailed. "What kind of species puts fruit on bread and calls it food?" The Zarathi fleet, faced with the prospect of enduring humanity's worst cultural offerings pumped directly into their collective consciousness for potentially eternity, made the only logical choice. They ran. 2 million ships turned in perfect synchronization and jumped to hyperspace, leaving behind only a message: "We surrender. Please no more. We'll never return. Just stop the music." The bunker erupted in stunned celebration. Rebecca calmly shut down her equipment and opened a bag of chips she'd brought along. "Dr. Price," the president said slowly, "you just saved Earth with bad music and pizza crimes. How did you even think of that?" Rebecca shrugged. "I have a teenage son. I've spent years perfecting sounds that make people want to leave immediately. Also, I figured any species advanced enough for interstellar travel would have developed good taste. Good taste makes you vulnerable to humanity's secret weapon. Which is, we're the only species in the galaxy that can enjoy things ironically," she said, munching a chip. "We've immunized ourselves to cringe through repeated exposure. They never stood a chance." The footage went viral across the galaxy within days. The Zarathi Empire collapsed from the collective embarrassment, and Dr. Rebecca Price became the only person in history to stop an alien invasion with weaponized bad taste. Her son, when asked for comment, simply said, "Mom's playlist has always been a war crime. Nice to see it finally used for good." The Zarathi Armada blotted out the stars above Earth, 2 million ships strong, each one capable of glassing a continent. In the United Nations emergency bunker, world leaders watched the countdown timer with grim faces. 3 hours until the first bombardment. "All our weapons are useless," General Morrison reported. "Their shields are impenetrable." "What about the nuclear option?" President Williams asked. "Like throwing pebbles at a tank." In the corner of the room, a disheveled woman in a lab coat raised her hand. "Excuse me, but I might have a solution." Everyone turned to stare at Dr. Rebecca Price, a theoretical physicist who'd been accidentally included in the evacuation due to a clerical error. "Doctor, this is hardly the time," Morrison began. "The Zarathi communicate through quantum entanglement, right?" Rebecca interrupted, pulling out her laptop. "Their entire fleet consciousness is linked through paired particles?" "Yes, but—" "And they're carbon-based life forms with copper blood chemistry?" The defense secretary frowned. "Our xenobiologists confirmed that, but I fail to see." "Perfect." Rebecca's fingers flew across her keyboard. "I need access to a radio telescope, the emergency broadcast system, and about $12 worth of materials from any grocery store." "This is ridiculous." Morrison slammed his fist on the table. "The fate of Earth will be decided by either letting me try something weird or watching 8 billion people die," Rebecca said flatly. "Your choice, General." President Williams nodded slowly. "Give her whatever she needs." 20 minutes later, Rebecca stood in a makeshift lab, surrounded by bewildered military personnel, watching her mix common household items: salt, vinegar, copper pennies, and several energy drinks, into a bizarre contraption connected to a radio transmitter. "Dr. Price," the president asked carefully, "what exactly are you doing?" "Making the universe's worst song," Rebecca replied cheerfully, adjusting frequencies on her equipment. "You see, the Zarathi's quantum communication is beautiful. Perfect harmonics across dimensional barriers. But here's the thing about humans. We've weaponized bad taste since the dawn of time." She hit a button. The speakers erupted with a sound that defied description. Part dubstep, part accordion, part nails on chalkboard, all filtered through her copper vinegar solution, which somehow created quantum interference patterns. Is that Mongolian throat singing mixed with a kazoo? Someone whispered in horror. Among other things, Rebecca grinned. I call it quantum cringe. The copper solution creates paired particles that entangle with their communication network, and the sound, well, the sound does the rest. Above Earth, something extraordinary happened. Zarathi ships began spinning erratically.